Netflix releases the Immortal Man, Peaky Blinders sequel movie to the series on Friday, March 20th to its streaming platform. And if you're thinking, I can't remember where I put my keys, how can I remember 6 seasons of a series that ended 4 years ago? We've got you covered. Welcome to The Whistle Press. I'm your host, Jen Whitfield. Here's our recap of Peaky Blinders with everything you need to know for the sequel. And yeah, there's spoilers of the series, but not the sequel. The trailer is out and we see some familiar faces. Cillian Murphy, of course, returns to his role as the great Thomas Shelby, former head of the Peaky Blinders and the Shelby family fortune. At the end of season 6, Thomas believes he is dying from tuberculoma, which he contracted from his late daughter Ruby, who did die of tuberculosis. This idea of the mortal man is nothing new for Thomas Shelby, who has lived his life as an immortal man since he returned from World War I. He believes himself to have no limitations, that he already died in France with his brothers. Not really, of course, but in their trauma they are invincible. In what he thinks is his final hour after saying his goodbyes, Thomas takes out the bullet with his name on it from the battle with the Chongarettas, but before he takes his own life, the ghost of Ruby saves him and shows him evidence that his doctor is friends with his latest enemy he could never defeat, Oswald Mosley, played by Sam Claflin. A new ghost of Ruby returns to the sequel, played by Bonnie Stott. When Tommy made his final goodbyes, he let his wife Lizzie and son Charles leave, and no indication that they have returned for the sequel. The enemy he could never defeat, Oswald Mosley, is not slated to return that we know of, but is replaced by a new enemy, also based on a real person, John Beckett, a politician from the British fascist movement in Britain, played by the legendary Tim Roth, who is going to be every bit as formidable as Sam Claflin. Sophie Rundle returns as Ada Thorne, Thomas's sister. Ada never found her footing as matriarch of the family and could never fill the shoes left by Aunt Polly, played by the late great Helen McCrory. At the end of season 6, when Thomas makes his goodbyes, he leaves his post as politician and tells Ada when a seat comes available, she should run for politics. She was always a better politician, involved in an early communist movement at the beginning of the series set in 1919 when she met her late husband, Freddie Thorne. Ada and Freddie have a son, Carl Thorne, played by Caspar Hilton Hill in the sequel. Carl isn't in the trailer, but he had taken a dark road and become involved with the fascist movement. Ada has a biracial baby with her late boyfriend, Ben Younger. At a loss with her son, who is unaccepting of his little sister, Ada reminds Carl his father was Jewish, and so is he. Tommy discovered he had another son, Duke, from a previous gypsy girlfriend, Zelda. Duke is recast with Barry Keoghan for the sequel. When we last saw Duke, Tommy whispers something in his ear, but we don't know what those words were. Uncle Charlie, played by Ned Dennehy, told Duke eventually his father wants him to become a general, and Tommy is always right. Duke joins the Peaky Blinders and proves his allegiance when he executes Billy Grade. The showdown with Billy tests loyalties in the family. Duke steps in and does what Finn Shelby is unable to. Finn is kicked out of the family and vows revenge. No sign that Harry Curtin returns as Finn for the sequel, but Shelbys always get their revenge. In fact, it's through revenge that Tommy discovers he has a son in the first place. Esme, the wife of Thomas's late brother John, is the one to reveal to Tommy that he has a son. Tommy seeks out Esme to remove the curse she placed on him that he thinks has caused his daughter to fall ill. It wasn't Esme, but it was a gypsy woman who got a sapphire from Tommy that was cursed by the Russians, which caused her daughter to die at the same age. The same sapphire cursed Tommy's first wife, Grace, at another moment where Tommy thought he had it all. Esme leads Thomas to the woman who placed the curse, and when he meets Esme again, she says the gods want him to gain his son after he lost his daughter. Tommy's old love Zelda had their baby before the war and never told him about it. They met by a hazel tree, and Duke has hazel eyes. Zelda is gone, but her sister Keulu, played by Rebecca Ferguson, joins the cast as Duke's aunt. Perhaps Aunt Keulu is the Aunt Polly to Duke as the new head of the Shelby gang that Ada could never be. Some other familiar faces are also returning for the sequel. Packy Lee and Ian Peck reprise their roles as trusted inside men Johnny Dogs and Curly. And a little unexpected, as he only joined in the final season, Stephen Graham returns as former Union man Hayden Stagg. It was Hayden who got through to Alfred when he was addicted to opium and became a trusted associate of the Shelby family. Some other new faces to watch for in The Immortal Man are Agnes Shelby, played by Ruby Ashbourne-Serkis, and Jay Licurgo as Elijah. Heading into the sequel, we can ask, is Tommy finally free from the curses and revenge plots from his past? What prophecy might Ruby or someone else foreshadow? Who will listen to the spirits for the family Shelby now? The final season of the Peaky Blinders was driven by Aunt Polly's prophecy that her son Michael Grey, who was set to take over the Shelby family, could not live as long as Thomas Shelby. One would have to kill the other, and after a failed attempt by Michael, Thomas turned the tables on Michael. But Michael also revealed that Polly prophesied Tommy could never die by a bullet. It seems the bullet with his name on it is never destined to leave the barrel. In the bleak midwinter. From humble beginnings as a lawless street gang of bookmakers in 1919 to a wealthy family of socialist politicians and legitimate businessmen, what remains of the Shelby family comes full circle and returns to its roots in the dawn of World War II, with Duke as the new head of the Peaky Blinders. An honorable mention to one of our favorite characters, Arthur Shelby, played by Paul Anderson, who is absent from the trailer for the sequel. No recap of Peaky Blinders would be complete without the infamous Arthur. As much as it feels like the heart and soul of the series is missing, his absence gives me hope that Linda and Arthur finally found peace in California, far away from the dangers of the Shelby family in Birmingham. By order of the Peaky Blinders, don't miss The Immortal Man, airing on Netflix Friday, March 20th, and now is a great time to catch up on all 6 seasons of the Peaky Blinders. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.